the jets were just coming out. So I wanted to fly jets. And so I decided to stay in. And while I'm waiting to fly the jets, I decided, well, it's a long story, but anyway, I decided to go to fly helicopters. And helicopters in those days were very, very rare. There was only a handful of them. And in fact, there was, at that time, I think the Air Force only had, maybe a half a dozen is all. Then they were very rare. They were quite limited at that time too. So they weren't really, but nobody was really interested in helicopters. So I was in the Air Force's first helicopter flight. We had 2 helicopters and 4 pilots.
When was that?
Pardon?
When was that?
1950. 1950. They were Sikorsky helicopters, and then the first atomic bomb testing was on Enewetak Atoll, and that was to test the first hydrogen bomb, which we looked at a little earlier. And so I went out, and they sent me and 3 other officers out to the Marshall Islands, Enewetak, to test the first. We had the first helicopters, the first use of helicopters for that. And then gradually helicopters become more and more of that. Of course, they're big medicine now. But so I had a interesting tour in the Air Force, from fighters to bombers to helicopters and whatever. So it was a fun thing. I really enjoyed it. And I was in the Air Force for 22 years. And then I got out and went back to school and got my degree. And then I went to work for Howard Hughes. And he at that time, the Hughes Aviation was a pretty big medicine. We built the first attack helicopter, which is still in service and still used the world around. I was just reading an article the other day. It's used by almost every country in the world uses the Hughes Attack Helicopter. It's a marvelous piece of equipment, way advanced over others. But I flew helicopters then for another 30 years. So I've got about 40 or 50 years of helicopter flying. I went with Hughes after Korea, though. After Korea, then I got out of the Air Force and went to work for Howard Hughes. And of course, he was developing the helicopters at that time. And he developed 2 of the world's most remarkable helicopters. What is called the Attack Helicopter, which is used by almost every country in the world, uses the Hughes Attack Helicopter. And then there was the civil Hughes helicopter, those right there, that low, that's the various ones that I flew. They are universally used as rescue air-evac hospitals and for people in accidents and that sort of thing. And used now, when we first started that program, there was Los Angeles and New York had 1 helicopter each. There were 2 helicopters doing rescue work then, and they didn't do much. Just once in a while they'd do a little something. But fortunately for me, I was assigned that project. And when I got through with it, which is about, I don't know, 10 years worth, 12 years, something like that, I had put helicopters to almost every police department in the United States. That's my best work that I did, is put helicopters in. And now there's not a police station or a state or a city that doesn't have helicopters.
Was it your idea to give helicopters to police departments?
Absolutely. It was my idea. Well, hold on. That's not quite true. It wasn't my idea. It was the idea of it was on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Captain, anyway, he was in the Los Angeles County Police Department. It was his idea, but I picked up on it and made it happen. I was the director of the program. But it was his idea. And we did it. And we did it, and the first ones was in Los Angeles. And we finished that project up, and then we got a grant from the federal government. And then after we got that grant, then we ran a trial program in Kansas City, Missouri. And that program was very successful, and that started the ball rolling. And then me and my team, we went all around the United States and got the various police chiefs to put the helicopters in. They called me up one day, and it's the guy says, "I'm from Mr. Zones or whatever, from personnel." He says, "And I'm looking at your record here," and he says, "And this my records show that you're what was it? Whatever it was, 71 years old, or yeah, I guess it was 71." And he said, "That can't be true, can it?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." He says, "Oh my God." He says, "You're 10 years beyond our insurance thing, so would you mind retiring?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've been meaning to do it anyway," so I finally hung it up.